Hi, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I will be discussing with you guys underrated K-pop opinions. So basically K-pop opinions that people need to acknowledge and talk about more. These opinions are not necessarily unpopular. They are just opinions. Anyway, enough rambling and on to the video. I feel like when people talk about itsy, the only thing they do is to criticize them, but I feel like people forget how tricky it is to be an itsy member. Their songs are so high, and they have to dance hard choreography whilst singing them. You have to have good breath control for your singing not to sound strained. You saw what happened on Girls Planet 999. Their vocals were not stable at all when performing Wannabe. That's just to prove how good itsy are at singing and control. Yeji and Leo always have those tricky notes but they execute them flawlessly. A round of applause please. It's really not a secret that K-pop stans are insensitive, but people literally never talk about how some things K-pop stans say and do could genuinely hurt idols' feelings. Example, let's say there's a survival show going on and you have the chance to vote for who you want to debut, and you mess around with the vote. Yes, I know it is just a survival show but it's also idols' dreams. Their hard work and all. Without us idols are nothing. You know that right? So I think we need to start thinking before we speak. NCT was a very brave move for SM and the K-pop industry. The amount of thought and creativity used to create NCT is just so wow. You'll never get bored by them because of the different subunits and different concepts they deliver. It's just never boring and I admire that. I'll admit I've said some very unnecessary and hypocritical stuff about NCT on this channel, when I barely knew anything about them. I've been slowly getting into them and it's been very eventful. Hating on a group doesn't make you quirky and I've learned from my mistakes. Of course their concept is something that takes time getting used to, but it seems very entertaining. So credits to SM for being experimental. Like for real, if you don't like a certain subunit style there's always another to satisfy you. My personal favorite subunit is NCT Dream. I love their vibe. Comment down your favorite subunit. Underrated groups and even underrated. It's really weird when a K-pop stan goes oh my gosh, X group is so underrated. Stop sleeping on X group. I'm not going to lie, that does have some slight truth to it, but don't act like your group has no fans and you're the only fan they have. There are K-pop groups out there literally struggling. K-pop groups you have never heard of before. Groups that barely manage to scrape in 50,000 views on their music videos. I hate to use an example but CLC it is. It's true that they are not the most popular group at all, but that doesn't mean that nobody knows them. Cube isn't financially struggling from what we know. They just don't care about CLC, which is just a shame. Anyway, support Eugene on Girls Planet 999.
Some of y'all about to be real mad at me, but it must be said.
Now before y'all cancel me let me speak. Listen before you make your final verdict. If you don't know what queerbaiting is then you're probably living under a rock. But here's a definition. Queerbaiting is the marketing technique for fiction and entertainment in which creators hint at, but then do not actually depict, same-sex romance or other LGBTQ+ representation. So you can see how this is wrong and it's low-key fetishization. Believe it or not, queerbaiting is present in the K-pop industry. Queerbaiting is used as a concept for comebacks and I'm like, out of all concepts you could pick you choose this. Whilst I do think it's wrong I do believe that K-pop stans enjoy it more than they say. Okay then say it with all your pride and no hesitation. Say that you actually dislike Monster by Irene and Sulji. Say it. Because I'm sorry if you say that it wasn't somewhat entertaining then you're lying to yourself. Of course I'm not saying that queerbaiting is okay, because it's not, but I'm saying that some K-pop stans enjoy it more than they say they do. It's true, and it's sad to say it but a member will always be unpopular for a reason, and when we see unpopular members we will start to bias them and be like, OMG, stop sleeping on X member or X member is mistreated. You'll act like it's a crime for your idol not being popular, and I'm not going to be leaving names but I guess you already have a rough idea of idols I'm directing this to. You should bias whoever you want and you need to remember, why do I bias this member? What do they mean to me and how do they stand out compared to others? Hypocrisy to the core. Here's an example. Ollie London. They are annoying as, and I dislike them as well, but, you guys say to respect each other and be kind to each other, even though you won't do the same to Ollie. It's obvious they are just milking out K-pop stans' possessiveness and taking advantage of it. You don't have to like Ollie. I don't like them either, but sending death threats and bullying is taking it too far. We as a community need to ignore Ollie London. Don't condone their actions but also treat them with respect and logic. Also please respect their pronouns. They use they and them, and who knows, they may be waffling about being non-binary but all we can do is respect it. People force themselves to like Next Level, and I will say it again. When I first heard that song I really disliked it. It was weird, but now I don't despise it but I'm totally not in love with it. I don't understand how the general opinion about this song changed so fast. I like itsy, I really do, but I need to see more music. Sorry to compare but how do enhypen, who debuted in the same month as itsy, already have a debut album, a comeback mini album, a Japanese album and so much content? Something isn't clicking here. Starving fans for music and content can go both ways. We saw it with Blackpink but please we don't need it with itsy. So yeah, back to Next Level. I feel like people force themselves to like it just because it's itsy. Like I'm sorry, Next Level is not something I would go out of my way to watch. However, I really enjoy Black Mamba. I've never hated the song, but I just can't wait to hear more music from them. It's the sad truth. Siblings should really try avoiding debuting in K-pop, because no matter what they do or what they say they will always be compared to each other. Take Bahiye for an example. It's the truth that people are only voting for her because of her brother. It's the truth that there are way better and experienced trainees than her on Girls Planet. I just really want her to be acknowledged for herself, and not just her brother's fame. But that's never going to happen. We saw it with the Che sisters. They get compared 24/7, and it becomes very discouraging. I mean, I'm not saying give up on your dreams if your sibling is an idol. It's just that you have to be ready to face comparisons and rivalries, and you have to know that at the start, most of your support is coming from your sibling. I believe in Bahiye and she looks extremely passionate about being an idol, but she hasn't shown much star quality yet, and I emphasize the yet because there is only 2 episodes of Girls Planet, so we will see more of her talent soon. I don't understand how you can call a big 3 artist untalented. How would they have made it to debut if they were untalented? In fact, how would they have made it into a big 3 company? I don't really think untalented idols exist. I just think some have more star quality than others. Being in the big 3 is a lot of pressure, so just appreciate the idols instead of nitpicking. And that's all of my underrated K-pop opinions. Comment down your thoughts about them. Until we meet again.